Okay, let's dive right into this. Today, we are unpacking a short but honestly totally game-changing piece called The Art of the Graceful Exit. You know that feeling when you're stuck in a conversation and just cannot figure out how to politely get away, and the anxiety of that moment just completely derails your focus? Well, this explainer is going to completely transform how you view those interactions. We're breaking down a highly structured strategy, looking at the exact mechanics of how to exit a conversation with grace, precision, and literally zero guilt. Let's get started. Part 1. The Social Friction Problem, Stagnant Interactions.
So, have you ever felt completely trapped in a stagnant conversation? I mean, really put yourself back in that room for a second. You're standing there at a networking event, the topic has absolutely run dry, and you're both just kind of staring at your shoes, swirling the ice in your drinks, basically praying for a fire alarm to go off, right? That heavy, awkward, trapped feeling where every single second drags on like an hour? That right there is what we call social friction. And the thing is, it happens universally. It's not some personal failure on your part at all. It's really a structural problem. The conversational energy just stops. But standard polite norms keep us from, just turning around and sprinting away. We're essentially stuck because we lack a clear, reliable, tested escape route to get us out of that stagnant zone.
Which brings us to Part 2. Enter the social buffer, a structured solution. Thankfully, we absolutely do not have to stay stuck in that awkwardness, and we definitely don't have to fumble around for some weak excuse like needing to go check on an imaginary dog. Instead, we can pivot to a calculated, intentional maneuver known as the social buffer, and this is defined as a deployed strategy to decouple from stagnant interactions without being rude. I just love the clinical precision of that phrasing, don't you? Think about what a buffer actually is. It's a protective barrier. It prevents a shock. So you aren't just running away. You are intentionally deploying a buffer to protect the relationship, keeping things totally polite while you actively decouple. And this idea brilliantly illustrates the core thesis here. You've got to decouple from stagnant interactions without burning bridges. Because the ultimate goal isn't just to plot some hasty escape. The goal is to leave that professional or personal relationship completely intact. You're unhooking yourself, decoupling from the stagnation of the moment, not from the value of the person standing in front of you. You are preserving that connection while safely removing yourself from that immediate friction-filled environment. Moving on to Part 3, Mastering Tactical Transitions. So how do we actually pull this off in the real world? Well, it is definitely not about waiting around and hoping for a lucky interruption. Here is your actual tactical playbook for conversational survival, featuring 2 specific, highly actionable mechanisms. Step 1 is time-bound pivots. Think about what a pivot does. It changes your direction. So you anchor your exit in a strict external constraint. You're not rejecting the person at all. The clock is just simply pulling you away. And then step 2, bridge building handoffs. The word handoff naturally implies care and responsibility, right? So instead of just dropping the conversation cold and running, you transfer that conversational energy safely to a new topic, or you introduce them to someone else. You are literally building a bridge for them so they aren't left stranded when you make your exit. Now, what's genuinely fascinating about these micro actions is how they connect straight to your macro results. When you successfully use a time-bound pivot or a bridge-building handoff, you're doing way more than just ending a bad conversation. You are maintaining your professional momentum. You keep your own energy moving forward. Instead of walking away feeling totally drained, awkward, and derailed by all that friction, you're actually propelled forward by the smooth tactical transition you just pulled off. And that brings us to Part 4, Preserving Your Social Capital. So why do we even go through all the trouble of mastering these exits in the first place? Well, it's to protect one of our absolute most valuable assets, our social capital. It's really not just about avoiding a few minutes of sweaty palms. Just consider the massive difference between these 2 approaches. On one side, we have the totally wrong way to leave, burning bridges. This is what happens when we panic, throw out some abrupt, unconvincing excuse, and leave the other person feeling totally dismissed. It completely destroys value. But conversely, look at the right approach, natural conclusions. By mastering tactical transitions, we make sure that every single departure feels organic. A graceful exit really shouldn't feel like an exit at all. It needs to feel like the mutual, completely natural conclusion to a great exchange, leaving this lingering positive impression rather than just a sudden, awkward void. Okay, let's quickly review this highly effective playbook we've been unpacking today. First, we learned how to identify and overcome the trap of social friction. Then, we learned exactly how to deploy the social buffer by utilizing time-bound pivots and executing those bridge-building handoffs.
And most importantly, we learned that we do all of this for one greater purpose, to preserve our social capital. So the absolute crucial point to remember here is that mastering these tactical maneuvers isn't just about being polite. It directly guarantees the preservation and the growth of your professional network and your personal momentum. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a bit of a provocative challenge. How will you execute your next graceful exit to preserve your professional momentum? Seriously, the next time you're at a networking event, a conference, or honestly even just a neighborhood block party, do not let social friction take over and drain your energy. I challenge you to actively apply the social buffer strategy. Go ahead and test out a time-bound pivot. Try orchestrating a bridge-building handoff. Just see for yourself how turning a clunky, awkward exit into a smooth, natural conclusion completely transforms your professional momentum. Thanks so much for joining me today. Keep focusing on those graceful exits, and I will see you in the next explainer.